I have my layout checked off by the teacher, and I'm going to move on to cutting. You want to make sure that you get checked off before you cut, because otherwise you might accidentally cut something wrong. You want to make sure that all of your arrows, your straight of grain arrows, are parallel to your fold and your selvage, okay? And then you want to make sure everything's pinned down, especially at curves. You need a little extra pins. You can't really see my pins super well. Maybe if I zoom in a little, you can see. But especially like on this curve here, I have a lot more pins because it's going to move around more. As I cut out, I want my fabric on a flat surface. If it's not on a flat surface, I'm not going to cut things out right, and it's going to look a little bit weird. It probably won't fit quite right. So lay it out on a flat surface, prepare to cut, and make sure that you know what size you're cutting. So this is the child's version, but each pattern piece has this extra small, small, medium, and large, and the adult has the extra large. Make sure you're cutting on the right line. When it's in the corner right here, that means that this line is the large, and this line is the medium, this line is the small, this is the extra small. There's also some pattern markings like the notches, so you can cut out a little triangle there, or you can make a 1/4 inch clip in. A 1/4 inch is about to the tip of that, like you just cut to the tip of the notch. You don't want to cut past that, or you're going to be cutting holes into your project. That's what I like to do because it's more accurate, but if you're worried about cutting a hole into your project, you can just do a little triangle out as you cut. And we're going to go through and cut. I will cut one with you, and then I'll leave you to cut the rest of them just for sake of time on the video. But we'll go through that. Be really careful as you go around curves and make sure that you're watching for your size line. So I will cut out piece 1 here. And I'm going to be doing this small, so I'm going to make sure that I have the right size. I want all my pins inside my cutting lines. So this is extra small, this is small here, medium, large, extra large. And I will be cutting the small, so I'm going to go up to the small and just start cutting. I'm cutting right on the line, okay? And I'll just cut down this line. Again, it's really important to be cutting on a flat surface because otherwise my pattern piece isn't going to be translating to my fabric exactly as it should. Right here, this is all, like this is the same for every size, so I'll just go ahead and cut across the top here. And I should note, there are a couple notches I passed. So here I'm just going to clip in to the top of my triangle. Hopefully you can see. I'm sorry if you can't. I know it's kind of zoomed out. But you could also cut a little triangle out around it. Okay? And then I'm going to start back over here. I'm going to start at the small, and I'll cut down the small. There's a notch here, so I'll cut that notch. Just a little clip up. Just a 1/4 inch, not anymore, or else you're going to be cutting a hole into your project. Then I'll go up the small. These are the adjustment lines. I'm not going to cut those. That's just if I was to make it smaller or like shorter or taller, that's where I would adjust it. Going, I have another notch here that I'll come back to clip. And then I don't want to cut over any pins, so if there's a pin in my way, I'm going to move it. And then this part is going to be the hardest part because it has the curve here. So I'm just going to be really careful, make sure I'm cutting it on a flat surface, make sure I have a lot of pins in this curve. And I'll just cut around the curve and make note that there are 2 notches here that I need to get. So I will clip those 2 notches. Okay, so that's pretty simple. That's what I'm going to do for each piece. I will go around and cut those. I'm going to cut any notches. And that is my next step.